I've been seeing a few things pop up on my YouTube feed about the Kingdom Hearts series in the last couple of days and about Square Enix problems. In this video, I want to talk about the other side of the Kingdom Hearts series, the Disney brand, and how that could be hurting the Kingdom Hearts series. Because remember, it's a synergy between both Square Enix and Disney. Anyways, it hasn't been an easy time to be a diehard Kingdom Hearts fan. The last real game came out 4 years ago, and it was Melody of Memories, which was an okay rhythm game, but I could really take it or leave it. And 3 was a bit underwhelming. And yes, Square Enix has some problems lately, but most of these I don't think have scared away their core fan base. It's more like their fan base is fractured. We're going from where consoles are king and what games Square Enix fit better on the console, and the king of console gets to rule everything that generation. Now, PC gaming is just as easy for the most part as console gaming, and I think as the years go by, we're going to see PC gaming market be equal, if not greater, than the console market, and going so that console exclusives are really going to hurt or be a sacrifice if you do that. And I think also there are people who are not happy with Final Fantasy 16's direction. I haven't had a chance to play that game, but from what I hear, it's very action oriented. It's more like Capcom's Devil May Cry. And speaking about Capcom, Square Enix situation is more like Capcom's situation 10 years ago, before they discovered how to be successful was just really to be themselves. Now, the only people who are really angry at Capcom are us Mega Man fans who want a new game, but most gamers really like Capcom nowadays. I see Square Enix kind of being in the same boat. They just need to figure out how to build a better Final Fantasy game, what Final Fantasy fans are interested, how to do a proper update to the series, and I really don't see their community leaving them. They're just not interested in the current offerings. If I had to give you an example of a studio that would be in trouble because gamers were against them and want to see them out of business, I would go with Ubisoft way more than Square Enix. So I think in a year or two, we'll see Square Enix having turned it around. That said, remember Kingdom Hearts, it's one half Disney. The IP belongs to Disney. And Disney, on the other hand, oh boy, the Disney brand is in trouble though. Have you seen their latest animated movie, Wish? There are YouTube independent small time animated shows like The Amazing Digital Circus that just blow Wish out of the water. The bad animation is only the tip of the iceberg, and if you believe what Film Threat published in their D-Files, then Disney is not going to recover their animation studio anytime soon. I'm going to go so far as to say it's going to take them over 10 years to recover. I am being optimistic to say it's going to be at least a decade before we see anything good. And before anyone points to Moana 2, I want to let you know that was done in a large part by a Canadian animation studio, not Walt Disney's main animation studio. And then we got the problems with Marvel and the MCU and the way they have alienated a lot of their comic book fans and then just wasted a bunch of money on movies no one wanted to watch. I watched Thor Love and Thunder. It's not as bad as people said, but I wouldn't watch it again. I haven't seen Marvel's Ant-Man Quantumanium yet or The Marvels, but from what I hear, I really don't want to. And while they did have some success with Deadpool and Wolverine, their next movie with Captain America in it doesn't look like it's pulling too good, and they're doing another round of reshoots. And again, Marvel's another IP Kingdom Hearts could develop for, and it's also another branch of Disney and Disney fans that Disney is alienated. And then we go into Star Wars. If there was ever a brand of IP that Kingdom Hearts could readily develop for, it's Star Wars. Square Enix is a bunch of Star Wars fanboys after all. Now, I don't hate Disney Star Wars myself. I thought there were parts of The Last Jedi I did like. I really like the fact that they made Luke Skywalker a bit of a crudgety old bastard rather than a superhero. I thought that was actually a unique position to put the character in. I did enjoy his relationship with Rey. With that said, the B plot of that movie was completely idiotic, and it went on a good 45 minutes longer than it needed to. And because a lot of Star Wars fans kind of had a bad reaction, and Disney did not recover their faith, it completely screwed up the Han Solo movie, which I thought was a way better movie than The Last Jedi, and that was kind of a shame because it deserved better. That said, I thought Rise of Skywalker was garbage, especially the ending. It felt that Disney had no idea how to do a Star Wars trilogy or how to cater to that audience. Say what you want about The Last Jedi, it was at least trying something. As far as Disney plus Star Wars shows, there's nothing in them that I hate, but I don't love most of them either. They are vanilla, and when you consider how big a franchise Star Wars was and how many hits it had, that says something. Even the worst of the prequels at least made me feel something. The only thing I would consider watching again from Disney Plus Star Wars would be the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. So, what does this really have to do with Kingdom Hearts? Well, there's two big things to really consider when it comes to Kingdom Hearts and Disney. First, the biggest assets are the Disney IP and the animation IP, which I said their studio is done for at least 10 years. They do have a few live action movies like Pirates of the Caribbean and Tron they've done, but mostly Kingdom Hearts is a celebration of Disney animation, and, well, Disney hasn't brought their A games in animation in several years. What exactly does Square Enix have that it would hype people to turn into a world for Kingdom Hearts 4? Well, I can only say the thing in the last decade that they could really turn into a movie would be movies like Moana and Encanto. Maybe Ryla and the Last Dragon due to its adventure type and having an interesting kind of world built onto it, but there haven't been really movies that have been excellent for them. And they've already exhausted a lot of the Disney classic movies. Aladdin, Little Mermaid, Pinocchio, Snow White. They've already been turned to worlds in previous games. What do they really have that they could really turn into a movie based on the animated movies? Do you want a Black Cauldron world or a Oliver and Company world? Because that's kind of what we're getting down to. We're kind of getting down to the B movies. And you can't just bust out Star Wars anymore, despite the many Star Wars comparisons, because it's now almost a dead brand, and I don't think a lot of the Marvel properties would be much better at this point. Then there's the whole backlash and apathy thing going on. People don't trust Disney to make anything good, and I think that's affecting them. Most of their big holiday movies underperformed this year. And from what I've seen of early critic reactions so far, I think Mufasa is going to be their next big bomb. So if you were Square Enix developing this game, would you put a lot of money considering Disney's situation? Would people trust that it would be good quality and that they've helped Square Enix give it their A game? And before you go, well, Square Enix is the developer, not Disney's. They're the ones that decide and make it good. I say think again, as Disney has a lot of power to influence the direction of the game as the right holder, and they have meddled in the past in not so good ways. Remember the frozen world from Kingdom Hearts 3? Yeah, I agree with Matt Pat's game theory that the whole story was supposed to be different, and Disney meddled and stopped Square Enix from telling a story that I would say would fit a video game experience, especially a Kingdom Hearts experience, better, and just Cliff noted Frozen was Sora involved. According to Matt Pat's theory, and there is evidence when you consider just the broken stage progression in that game, was rather than having to save Elsa from Hans, who transforms into a wolf because they never let you fight any of the villains outright, thanks Disney, the idea was Sora and Anna to save Elsa from Larxene as she was trying to turn Elsa into Heartless using her fear and confusion. And if there was anyone who could convince Elsa to turn into Heartless, it's definitely this bitch. but Disney meddled and we got a world that seems to be pretty much at the bottom of most people's opinions when it comes to Kingdom Hearts world. Right next to Tarzan's deep jungle from the original game, it's rated that bad. And what's to stop current Disney from interfering with the project? So take a look at Square Enix perspective. They have basically followed the same path Disney had in several of their games when it comes to the political nonsense that I'm not getting into. And they've all flopped because of it, and they're trying to turn things around. Do they want to spend big money on a game that, due to both companies' reputation, but especially Disney's reputation at the moment, that would suggest that the project could flop easier? Do they trust Disney not to interfere and force them to make changes that could damage their biggest series? Or do they sit back and wait as they watch Disney also rebuild their brand, change things, and change policies to get themselves back up into a state of profitability and be more loved by the fans? I believe that's what they're going to do. I believe that's why Kingdom Hearts Missing Link didn't have any new information this year. That's why I think that Kingdom Hearts 4 hasn't been heard of in 2 years. I do believe we will hear something from Kingdom Hearts The Missing Link next year. I am hoping it's going to be some trailers and some announcements, but there could be a case of a cancellation if things don't change around for either company. I believe we will also have a release date or something for Kingdom Hearts 4 to show that it is in development and coming along, what kind of story beats, world ideas, etc. next year. But until I see things change for Disney, until I see people's opinions change for Disney, I don't really think we're going to see a lot of Kingdom Hearts, just because it's too risky for both companies to pour a lot of money in an IP that celebrates Disney when people's opinion of Disney are at an all-time low. Anyways, that's my opinion based on comments I've heard, what I've seen on social media. Please leave yours down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. It helps my channel.